So anyways, thank you for being here and thank you, Surni. Thanks, Rema, for introducing Surni. And then we now have a common interest of cracking jokes on each other and destroying each other's mood. So yeah, I'm Sahar, as you know, and I come from Iran. And I was in the corporate world for about 12 years. And one day, I don't know what happened to me. I think some soul or some ghost just got over me and I got possessed. And I decided I need to resign. And I resigned as if my life really was dependent on that resignation, which it was because it was a lot of pressure. So, anyways, but my journey with what I do today started about 4 years before that resignation, and I believe the universe was kind of preparing me. Now, I am here and I don't know how you find my subject. Some people find it very interesting, and some people find it bogus bogus and they find it very boring. So, in case you find it boring, I won't feel offended. You can just leave if it is too boring. But I want to give you a little background before I start talking about the spiritual tools of success or whatever. And the background is this. I never planned this actually. I was very much into corporate at about age 28. It was very good because you know the corporate ego and everyone is doing yes ma'am, and you're too young to handle that kind of a ego boost. So it was good. Every wish, I was just telling Rema, every wish I had was fulfilled. I should travel international, I should be, traveling this class of, whatever. Everything was good, but what was not good was my personal life. And I had to find answers because I think the biggest gift I have had is that I was born a very curious child and I was born to a father who really fueled this curiosity. And he told me, even if I tell you something, and even if in front of us, God comes down and tells you something, if it doesn't feel right, question it. You have the right to question. So I think that really helped me having this ability to question everything everyone said, to the extent of one day my father said, I'm really sorry I said that to you. I take it back honorably, but it was too late. So anyways, my younger brother called me Miss Y, like WHY, because you would say, Sahar, can you move from here to there? And I say, why? How is me standing here bothering you? Please explain. So it went to some extreme. But then what happened is with my life is that though everything else on the outside was very glorious and people really wanted to be in my place professionally, but personally I was going through a mess. And as you know, in our society, we teach people that don't talk about your problems, don't wash dirty linens in the public and all of that. So you have to keep it all together. And then I also had the good girl syndrome because my brother was unwell and all the expectations of the father was on me. So I simply could not complain. I grew up and my motto as a child, even as a 10-year-old, was I don't have the permission to fail, and I don't have the permission to actually do anything my parents don't want me to do. So it was a very good girl syndrome. I couldn't fail them. Me failing was okay, but they should have not failed. So that was the kind of pressure I grew up. So when I was going through all this turbulent marriage, I felt, okay, now I can't talk to anyone, I need to find. And I come from a psychology and MBA background. So with the psychology, I thought I should seek help. Of course, psychology didn't help me because there seemed to be deeper issues. And when I started searching for answers to understand what did I do so wrong that I deserve this treatment, is when a friend from college came to rescue and said, maybe you should try past life regression. And imagine coming from Iran, like past life, what is past life? And then she explained a little bit the philosophy and it was very interesting. And the curious person I was like, if nothing else, let's go and see, maybe I was some queen or something. So anyways, that one session in 2006 and my life changed. And then apparently, I also had the gift of intuition, which I didn't know then. And which means my right brain is much more activated than my left brain, if I have to explain it scientifically. And most women are more intuitive because that's by design, we are made like that. But somehow it seemed, for me, it was very activated because I sat in that chair And the therapist said 3, 2, 1, and I was in a past life. She didn't have to try too hard. And I then, in 6 months or so, I had seen already 19 past lives. And I now knew the answer, what went wrong. But now what I didn't know, that who am I that I caused so much of trouble? So why I'm saying all this background is because I need to explain the philosophy on which my profession works. And the philosophy is this, that nothing in life is supposed to be hard or difficult. Nothing in life is supposed to be chaotic. It can be complex, but it shouldn't be chaotic. And everything that is going wrong is supposed to have a solution. Because the creator simply is not capable of creating something that cannot have a solution. Because then in that case, it is failing itself. So that's the philosophy. The other philosophy is that so this is, I won't say philosophy, but the fundamental fact on which everything that I do or people like me do stands. And then just using these 3, 4, 5 principles, we heal everyone and everyone for anything they come, from cancer stage 3, not a stage 4, stage 3 to financial issues, companies are collapsing, directors are not meeting with each other, brothers are cutting each other's throat. It can be just anything. It doesn't matter. Everything stands on these few principles. The second principle is that you are responsible for your reality. Good, bad, ugly, you have created it. It is your drama. If you don't like it, change it. And the reason for that is because it is believed that we come from one source. You may call it God, you may call it source, divine intelligence, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. But there is one entity that has created the whole of this universe. Some people disagree with this, which is fine. And some people like me agree. It really doesn't matter what we believe. All that we need to look for in life is to look for that evidence of that existence. And if we don't find it in us, because that's the most difficult place to find it, we will find it in something or someone. We will find it in day and night. We will find it in the precision of this universe. We will find it in how these 330 trillion cells in your body are working so beautifully that you're not even aware of it that it is working, right? But it is really giving you all that you need to experience a life. So this is the second principle. The third principle is that the only purpose of life is to live it fully. And if you are not living it fully, it is because you are choosing something which is not meant for you. And you are being inspired by something which is really not meant for the kind of person you are. So now the argument is that if there is a source and it's the same source and it is in everything, from this chair to me, to him, to everyone, then why is everyone different? Everyone should be the same. We all are uniquely different, not in design, but in expression. So what I can do with what I have inside of me, which you would also have inside of you, I can express it differently because of my past experiences and how as an individual I have been shaped up. So this is another principle. And the fifth or the last principle is that there are certain laws into this universe, and if you take time, slow down, you would be most effective if you slow down. If you're rushing, if you're in a bullet train, you're going wherever you're going, you're missing a lot of life. And if you really want to experience life, you need to slow down. The bullet train will take you to the destination. But what is the value of a life that you have just lived? You've just existed in it. You haven't seen anything. You haven't experienced anything. You haven't felt anything about it. So if you want a fulfilling life, you need to slow down in life. Now we can't slow down because everyone seems to be from a corporate background. I know you can't slow down, but every now and then you should slow down. Okay, so these are the principles based on which all the 12,000 people I work with, I have helped them. I won't say heal them because no one is wrong. Nothing needs really to be fixed. But I have just helped them to shift their perspective and move them from seeing something which looks like suffering and pain to see it as a blessing and gift. And once your belief and your perception shifts, then everything shifts. Now, this is a vast topic and the crowd is different. So, Sherni said it has to be, laws of success, it has to be about corporate. But actually, the truth of the matter is there are just few principles and the entire universe works on that. And if you want to disagree with me, that's very nice, but I want to give you an example of it. That everything is made of cell, one cell. Every cell has 3 components, the nucleus, the electron, and the proton. And I rest my case there. Everything is based on these principles because the most important thing is that life is supposed to be intense, not difficult. Life is supposed to be complex, but not complicated. Solutions are supposed to be simple and easy to approach. Then what is blocking us from reaching out the solution, whether we are in our own life, in a corporate setup, within a team, alone, it doesn't matter. It is our need to create complexities, then overcome those complexities and then feel good about it. So that brings me to 2 things. We are 3-dimensional beings. We have the mind, body and soul. Now, how that translates to the way we function in life is we as human beings function from 3 dimensions. The dimension of doing, the dimension of feeling, and the dimension of being. So, if you're always doing, you're always struggling because there is always another place to reach to, there's always another target which is kind of difficult to achieve. There's always complex situations because you're continuously wanting to do things in order to overcome some hurdle or challenge and then the association at this level of being is that through challenges I will grow. And it's a big association which is a collective consciousness which tells us and our conditioning says to us that it is through challenges and difficulties and these kind of life lessons that you can grow. But remember, this is just an association, you can undo it, okay? So then it's the dimension of feeling, which is the most important dimension of human consciousness, which we tend to ignore. We tell our men they should not feel anything, and if they feel, they should suppress it. And we tell our women to control what they feel, because if they come and express what they feel the way dramatically they express themselves, then they are too sensitive, too dramatic, they are drama queens or whatever. So we are actually suppressing that one thing which really but makes human consciousness uniquely different from any other consciousness. And that's the dimension of feeling, okay? We feel, hence we are different. We feel, hence we react or respond to situations different. An animal can't really feel the way we feel. The spectrum of our feelings, from this polarity of, let's say, sadness to ecstasy, from the polarity of hate to love, from the polarity of fear to, courage. So because we have this huge thing, we are supposed to be able to address our feelings and process it. Now, why am I covering all this? Because these are the things we ignore in the corporate, right? It's very doing, process oriented. And as long as you're only focused on one dimension of the person in your setup and in your corporate world, you're not understanding that person for who they are. And all that a human wants is respect, honor, acceptance. And when we refuse to see who they are, how can we honor them? So is the conflict, right? And then we come to the extension of the beingness, which is usually people who are like me, I would say. Not that I'm any different, but we have gone a little deeper, trying to understand deeper meaning of life. So we also have a dimension of being. Now, this is the craziest part of the story. People like me believe that I don't need to do anything. Everything is happening for me. And then when I say this, people look at me, really? How is that possible? But it is possible because this is the progressive level of evolution that we have. Okay, so this is the background to now what I'm going to come to. So this was just to prepare you. I think I've already bored you, but let's come to the the spiritual laws of success. So I can only talk of spirituality. Not that because I'm a spiritual person, but because that's my topic, that's my subject. And I then can bring everything into it or take it out of it, it doesn't matter. But we cannot deny the fact that we are spirit beings having a human experience. We are three-dimensional beings, and somewhere, somehow in the process of doing and suppressing the feeling, we have forgotten the being. That's why we are called human beings, because someone has to remind us that you also have a being. You don't have to only do things. You can just relax and just be, and things can happen for you. But we don't really, we have forgotten that. As children, when we are born, no child wants to save money, has thinking, oh, tomorrow, oh my God, I don't know what will happen to my life. No child is bothered about from where the food is coming, whether I will be able to walk or not. Every child is super confident. I'm going to walk, I'll just have to cry and the food would be ready. And then we teach them competition, we teach them insecurities, we teach them that there is no money, we teach them there is poverty, and then we create a society which is the society that we are in. Now, I hope you don't mind if I lean. So now, we believe that there are laws that you can apply in everything. And wherever you don't agree with me, it's perfectly fine. You can always question me. So the topic that I want to share with you is a few spiritual laws, which we call it the spiritual laws of success, but again they are the fundamentals of how you can actually organize and rearrange your life and look at it from a perspective that doesn't need too much of effort. Because another principle is that when life is too hard, and when you're pushing through something with all of your effort and you're really, really using too much of energy, you're trying to push it hard, which is always in the corporate world, you're actually pushing against the stream. You're not swimming with the stream and with the flow, we are pushing against the flow. Now, if you want to have a life which is easy and smooth, and even if you are in corporate or in a relationship, if it is money matter, it doesn't matter. If it is even physical health, every time something goes wrong, it is because we are pushing against the flow of life. Life is not against anyone. So that brings us to how do we make it easy? How do we get into this flow of life when I don't have to use 80% of my energy to swim against the flow of life? That brings us to the first spiritual law of success, which is the law of pure potentiality. So what does this law say? It says that within every seed and within every cell, there is a potential of growth. If there is a seed of any tree, that seed of the tree has the potential to become an entire forest. How? You put the seed, you sow it, and then one tree comes, and from that tree comes many other seeds, and then it can become a forest. Obviously, it's very difficult to look at one seed and imagine a forest, but if we logically think about it, that's the process of life, right? Within every cell, there is a potential of an entire 8.4 billion human consciousness, because we all came from that one cell. The one cell became 2, and then it multiplied, and then here we are 8.4 billion. So there is a field, there is an energy system. We all are a part of this ecosystem or this universe which has provided the same potential within every cell in your body to achieve what you want effortlessly. Then what is the problem? The problem is your mind, which needs challenges to create success and progress. So the law of pure potentiality is simply trying to tell you, look at the universe, don't go too far. Just look at your own body. Look at how a new life out of everything is created. And understand every cell in the body not only has the potential, but can create an environment in which it can grow. Now, either you are not using the potential to create with ease, or you are placing yourself in the wrong environment. You have to see which one of the two you are. So this is the first law of success. The second law of success is the law of giving. Now the problem with human consciousness is it believes in hoarding. I need to hoard wisdom, I need to hoard money, I will even hoard 30 years old saris and keep it in my cupboard. I will hoard everything because I so fear losing things. But if we understand the universe is about a complete, continuous, diligent, precise form of exchange. It's always changing. Nothing can be hoarded. Now, if the nature cannot hoard anything, if the universe cannot hoard anything, if your solar system cannot hoard anything, if the air, the fire, whatever, nothing can hoard anything, how can you go against the flow of life and hoard? When we hoard, we are actually going against the flow of life. Now, that doesn't mean no one should have ambition, no one should have money, no one should, but we shouldn't be saving it from a space of lack consciousness. We must understand when we are doing anything, it is not the doing that is so important. It is the intention and from which space we are doing what we are doing is important. I can be, see, the same potential in me, the same very potential was also in Hitler. From what intention he used the potential and what he created, and from what intention I am sitting, standing here and talking and what I want to create is making the same field of pure potentiality to create two different worlds exactly opposite. So it's not about what you can create. You can create an entire universe if you want to. It is about from which space are you creating. It is about the law of intention and desire. So that's the third law. The third law says, anything that you have an intention about, that intention itself by its principle has the ability and the absolute possibility and the opportunity to fulfill itself. You don't even have to work hard for it. I'll give you 2-3 examples of my own life because I prefer to give my own life examples. You can go and see, look back at my life. It's all in my books and all over social media, and she's not lying. If I give another person's example, you can't find them and go and research about them. My life is all over the place, even in newspaper. So I was told I'm supposed to write a book, which is my first book. This is in 2000. So I have a client from Canada. Now she's a very dear friend. And there was something horribly bad in her marriage. And she called me from Canada. She said, I really can't take it anymore. I hear the voice of this man, which is actually originally her husband, but she would call it this man. And her whole body would tremble. There was so much of terror. She says, I am making up some excuse. I am coming to India. I need a past life regression session. I need to understand what's going on. I was like, okay. So she just landed for 3 days. She did a past life regression. And in that past life regression, this is 2013. So the process of past life is like this. You do the session. First, you understand what is the presenting problem. Usually the presenting problem that we feel is a problem in metaphysics is not really the problem. It's just an indication for you to think, I need to correct something in my life. So that was the husband was the presenting problem, but the original problem was her fear of living in a foreign land. That was the actual problem, had nothing to do with the husband. But anyways, towards the end of the session, we usually go through the death process, then the person goes, after death, the soul goes to understand where I am, how I am feeling, why did I go through all these lessons and how do I heal my life and all of that. And then sometimes you get a guide to come forward and give you some advice. So I asked her, I said, do you want to check if anyone is there to give you some advice? And she said, yeah, so and so. She could identify who's the person. So and so is there. I said, okay, ask then, ask for guidance. And then I kept on writing. I filled up 17 pages because I record every session. And in that 17 pages, at least 17 times it was written, you must write a book. You must write a book and bring clarity of concept to people. And I'm wondering, she's a fashion designer from a completely different background and about what is she supposed to write. Eventually, I was really fed up. I said, ask who is supposed to write the book. You are not going to write the book. Who? Then she said, no, you are supposed to write the book. I was like, okay. And obviously, English is really my fourth language. I'm not very, I am still better right now, but I wasn't confident at all in 2013 to write anything in English. And I never thought I can write a book. And what clarity, I myself was seeking clarity, asking questions, going through all these sessions to get clarity, what clarity I will bring to people. So anyways, so after that, the message got repeated through different clients and different people and all of that. And then it was 2018. Eventually, I simply couldn't work. I would hold any workshop. There would be at least one person who would say, you need to, close this workshop, go sit, write the book. When it becomes too strong, and then I obviously preach, listen to your inner voice, listen to your inner being. Now, if I'm not listening, then I don't have the right to preach that. I said, okay, enough of working. Let me see what am I writing. So I called another friend, and she's even more intelligent than me. She said, what you do is you write the book, don't publish it. It's out of your system. And now you have told the guide, I've written it. If you really want it published, get it published. I said, it's a good idea. We can fool the guides. So I wrote in 42 days, whatever I wrote, and then finished the book and decided not to publish. But I thought, now that I've written, let me ask people, how is it? I asked 2-3 of my friends and a student to read it, and they said, no, you should actually publish this. So me sitting with the guides again in meditation, I'm like, I can't go ask for publishing. I will just do 100 copy self-publishing and let this get over. So I thought, I have 12,000 people. Then it was not 12,000, to be honest. Then it was about, I think, 9,000 people. I was like, so log to le lenge. And I was ready to gift it. I was like, so anyways, I self-published the book. But the interesting part is I wrote the book and I announced it on my WhatsApp group that there is a book and I don't know how to go about it. I'm supposed to publish it. Anyone knows anyone? And a girl says, one of my students said, oh, I'm a professional editor. Let me edit it. I said, okay. She edited it and she said, I also work with a publication house. Let us get it published. I said, it's not that great. Let us just do a self-publishing. Let's not, I don't want to put my foot in my own mouth. Let's just get it to close people and get over with it. And then that publisher happened, they published it, but I somehow didn't like the work. So I told another student, I said, the book has come, I don't like it, you guys take it. And when we held this thing of distributing the book, one of the guys said, I know an editor from Tribune, he's the chief editor of Tribune. You talk to him, maybe he knows someone. I was reluctant. So that guy calls me. I didn't do any effort. What I'm trying to say is I made absolutely no effort other than putting one message on the WhatsApp that I have the book and I want to give it away and get rid of it. That's all I did. And this guy calls me, edits the book, goes, and then another publisher discovered the book. That publisher said, no, we will publish it for you. Went into second edition, then the third print and all of that. So what I'm trying to say is that you don't have to put in effort for something which is aligned. It will happen on its own if it is meant for you. So that is the law of intention and desire. If you have a desire and you put an intent to it, and then you pay attention to that desire and understand how it feels to your system. It is not what you think it is. It is about how does it make you feel and how does it make you expand in your consciousness. Then that desire has the possibility, opportunity, and also capability to fulfill itself. So wherever you're struggling with anything, whether it is relationship, finances, corporate job, your team, it is trying to tell you somewhere you're going against the stream. Now you can find out which stream it is, because that's your job to find. Now within the law of intention and desire comes the need to have focused attention. Now what is happening is that we pick up a project and that project has a lot of stuff in it. We don't have a focused attention on one step at a time or one person in the project at a time. We are continuously looking at the end product, doubting that whether this can be done, And we are also doubting the capability of the people, and we are not ready to invest any time to understand, can this work? Is this really aligned? Are all the people in the team aligned with this? Am I paying enough attention to this intention to make sure it is materialized? We come up with an idea, we throw it like a bomb at people, and now they have to achieve it. And our participation is zero. Or once in a while we try, okay, let me take a report and find out what the hell they are doing. But if you are the founder of the idea, if the vision is yours, your involvement and your attention will make sure it reaches the end result without any chaos and without any complexities and without any problem. So whether it is your work, whether it is your relationship, the whole thing is to be able to have the idea, the vision, to intend it for the highest good of all, then bring people and explain it and allow the whole thing to be aligned. Your intention with the outside goal, but the most important, you need to be aligned with the highest good of all. You need to be aligned with what value this project, this relationship, this money matter will add to everyone involved. Where we go wrong is that we have something, we are paying attention to it, and then we don't care about the rest of the world, what they are going through. Imagine your body and you're paying attention to build muscle. So you go to gym, you pump yourself with so much protein, you forget every other thing that is required. What happens? Your kidney fails. You can't be feeding your body just one thing. So your corporate, your team, your project is the body. Everything has to be fed. We really don't have to think too much to find answers. If we really are looking for solution and answers and easy way out, there is clue in our own body for everything. How you need to behave with your teammates, think of the organs in the body, how you need to take care of them. You can't be taking care of one because it's your favorite and leave the rest out. You can't be cutting an arm and saying, I don't care what happens to it. You have to put everything together. You have to move everything together. So if we are really wanting to be successful, we need to have the highest good of all in mind at a very wholesome level. What are we doing to their health? What are we doing to their honor? What is this project costing them in terms of their relationship? Is this adding value to everyone, including the client and me and the people, or is it just about me moving one more, ladder up? We only, as a human consciousness, we are a collective. It is having a positive side and also a negative side. The positive side is that you can only move forward if you take everyone with you. It's a pack. It's like the wolf pack. You have to go together. If you leave behind one, that one would be eaten. If you move ahead alone, you would be eaten. So it's important you take everything together. And the beauty is that you have all the signs that you want in order to handle your life beautifully within the nature. Look at the seasons, look at the how plants grow, look at how stones are formed, look at how your body functions, and you have all the answers. You really don't have to go anywhere. Life doesn't have a manual, but the design has been given to you. You can just look for it. It's like a puzzle. You just have to look within the body and understand, now what should I do? And all the answers are there. So, and now the next law. Should I talk about cause and effect? So the next law, which doesn't seem to be really related to success, but it is the law of cause and effect, or what we call karma. Why is it important to be aware of it? Because the law of karma is actually the entire process of life explained in a very simple way. If we take everything in this universe, everything is originally made of energy. The basis of everything is energy. Your nucleus is energy. Whatever is inside your cell or any other cell is energy. Or let's say atom. Everything is energy, right? Now, energy has a very peculiar way of functioning. If you want to be aligned with life, you need to understand how life on itself functions. It is not how you need your life to function for you. You just need to understand the design of life and the universe and then duplicate that into your life. So, Energy doesn't work linear. We think linear because we have past, present and future. So we usually think linear, but energy doesn't work linear, and our life is made up of energy. From energy comes intention, from energy comes the field of your potentiality, from energy comes desire, from energy comes thought, from energy comes manifestation, from energy comes our body and the entire universe. Now, but the problem with energy is it doesn't function the way we think it should function. It doesn't go in one linear manner. You know what happens when your survival looks like one line in the hospital, then bye-bye, you know. So energy doesn't work like that. Energy goes in cyclic motion. And karma, I'm sorry I apologize to all the Indians that I'm, as an Iranian, coming here talking about law of karma to all of you, but it's my utmost duty to destroy it for you. So anyways, energy goes like that, and the law of karma, all that it says is that one thing that starts from whichever place, the point of inception, it has to complete its cycle and experience, and then it will move to a bigger cycle and a bigger cycle. But every time it completes the cycle, it will go to the origin. And now if I'm intending something wrong, who's the origin? I'm the origin. So it's not that if I do something wrong to him, then he will do something wrong to me. It's not a linear reality. I think something wrong, nothing happens to me initially. Then this energy starts moving, touches him, then touches that one, then let's say touches the cycle. And then it decides, okay, it is enough. Now I need to go back and complete my cycle. But now what happens is that as this energy is moving, because it keeps catching the frequency that matches it, it keeps catching similar intentions and actions and behavior which are unpleasant, matching my original intention. So by the time it comes back and hits me, because it is trying to complete the cycle, it looks like a punishment because now it's huge. It's not just that one thought. Now it has gathered his thought and his thought and his thought, and then it has become so big, and now it comes back to me, and then it feels like as if I'm being punished. I must have done my first question, what did I do so wrong to deserve this? Right? Now sometimes this intention is not to harm anyone. It's just a bad belief system you have got from ancestors. Or there is something in your DNA, you don't even know what it is. But if you have been in that line of action and circulation, you won't be spared. So that is the law of karma. So why is it important? This is because in the corporate, we only think about ourselves. We think it doesn't matter what happens. Ye karna parega, you know, it is business. Yeah, it is business, but it eventually comes back to the same place. The karma doesn't understand business, relationship, money. It doesn't understand all of that. It says, I started from here, I need to come back hit here. Maybe not in this company, in another company. Maybe not now, maybe 10 years later. And it won't be linear. So a bad decision that affected 200 people will not come back like someone asking you for resignation. It can come back as someone in the family who has a problem, because of which you will lose sleep. It's not linear. Okay, so that is the law of karma. And the last, I would want to, maybe second last actually. How much time do we have? Okay, so the next law, I won't say last, is the law of dharma or the law of purpose. So a lot of young people especially keep asking me, I want to know what is my life purpose, and also some elderly people. What is my life purpose? Why am I here? What is the purpose of my life? I think I'm wasting my life. First of all, life cannot be wasted. It doesn't matter if you had a project and 10 times you failed. It doesn't matter if you opened 3 businesses and all of them failed. It doesn't matter how many relationships went wrong. Nothing is ever wasted. Why I can say this with such certainty is because the Creator is not capable of creating waste. Life in itself is incapable of creating waste. And you are not life. You're just a small, tiny particle in life. So you for sure have no capability to govern life and make it look like a waste. It's only your perception, because your ego is trying to tell you your expectation was not met. And your expectation has become so big by now that it's bigger than you. And now your expectation is making you as a being look like a failure. How sad is that? No? So, nothing can be wasted. The law of dharma says that, as I said in the beginning, that we all are uniquely different, but we have the same essence. What makes us behave differently and what makes us to bring something to the world differently is our expression of the things that we know. I will talk about, everyone here understands karma and everyone knows it. You guys have grown up with it. For me, it's a very recent phenomenon. But each one of us will talk about the same topic and we will use a different language, different expression, different conviction with which we will talk about it, right? And the way we use this and the way we express it will affect the people who are receiving it. If someone matches my frequency, will receives it from me better, and if someone matches your frequency, will receives it better from you. They will not understand what I'm saying. I'm saying the same thing, but they will understand it from whoever they can connect with. Okay. So because we are different in our expression, we are supposed to have a purpose. But first of all, originally, our only purpose is to live life fully. Let me get this out of this elephant out of the room. There is really no grand purpose to anyone. I must create a $1 billion company. I must travel the world. I must teach the humanity and save the world. I am the Messiah. All that is nonsense. That's coming from the ego. I'm sorry, I have to trash it. The only purpose of life in itself, which a part of, you're a small little particle, tiny thing in life, is to be lived fully. Life's purpose is to experience itself through you. That's all we are. We are just a mean for life to be experienced. He can experience me differently, he will experience me differently, she will experience me differently, depending on what you need from me. Not everyone will get me the way the other one is getting, right? So whatever you need, you get that. And the only purpose of life is for life to experience itself through you. You genuinely have no purpose. Your job, you have a job, not a purpose. Your job is to allow life to do its purpose through you. The more you are into your beingness and let go of your doingness, the more you allow yourself to feel life, the more life will feel you. And this is where you get aligned. This is where ease happens. The more of who you are means the more authentic you are, the more honest. Authentic means you're honest with yourself. It doesn't mean the whole world needs to know every little detail of your life. The more of who you are, you know, the more you are allowing life to fulfill its purpose through you. That's all you need to do. Now, this doesn't mean, especially for the younger generation, now you have to sit and do nothing. No, you have to become an instrument of life and letting it work through you. Now, let's say speaking is my gift. Life will express itself through my speaking. Someone, economy is their gift. Life will express itself through their understanding of economics and whatever they bring to the table. So, you are supposed to be yourself enough to allow life to bring forth your gifts. And everyone has a different gift. You are meant to discover. So, basically your only purpose is discover your gift and share it with the world in a way you will serve the world. Not in a way you will gain from world. Because the law of giving and receiving are just one thing. Why? Because life is continuously in a cycle. It's always in a cyclic motion. So if half of it is giving, half of it is receiving. If you only want to receive and you do not want to give, you are interrupting life. You are cutting this cycle. And life cannot be cut. Then what will happen? It will cut through you. The giving and receiving is exactly the same thing. Now, does that mean I should only give money and do, that kind of charity? No. Whatever is your gift, you are supposed to give. If clarity is your gift, then give it. Without thinking, what will I get in return? If you're always thinking of what you're getting in return, you're not giving. You're doing business with life. And do you really think you can win and you can be a better businessman from life? No, you can't. I mean, you can have the myth that you can, but possibly not. So, the giving and receiving is important, because when you share your gift in order to add value, the life will start giving you in order to add value to you. It's a complete balance and exchange of energy between you and the universe, between you and the higher intelligence, between you and all that is. So basically, these are the few laws which we believe. People like me believe, you may think she's crazy, but I'm okay with that. If we follow them, and I've been following them since I got to know about these things. Before that, I still believed in giving, but I was giving from a space of the good girl. I was giving from lack consciousness. If I give, then I would be considered nice. If I give, then people will think she's nice and they will give me back. So I was operating from lack consciousness. But now I understand that I don't have to give everything, because I possibly don't have I have all the resources, but it is not my job to give all my resources. The only thing I need to give is the gift that I have. And of course, it is your job to discover what is your gift. Once we start this beautiful exchange with the universe, so we are not anymore doing business with the universe. We are not looking for profitability with the universe. We are looking at a very beautiful exchange. You want me to share this, I want you to give me this. And give it with ease. The last but not the least, we as human beings have the power of choice. Okay? Now, I was in 21 days of meditation. This is not a law, but this is a very important concept, which I feel if you don't understand it, if you don't practice it, you can't practice any other law. Simple as that. So, when I was in 21, in every now and then I go into hibernation. Then when the energy becomes too much, when there are too many people around me, then I need to say, okay, enough, let me go and understand. I need to pause, I need to slow down. And every time I pause and slow down, then the wheel becomes bigger and then it flows better. So I need to do that pause, and I really, really suggest everyone should do it. If you can't do it 21 days, do it 2 hours in a week, whatever. So it's about, so how do we go into silence? I'm just explaining a technique. You can try and see how it works for you. You can do it half a day, 2 hours, 1 day in a month, but just do it. So you switch off all your, gadgets. You tell your family, I need to be on my own. And you don't have to go anywhere into Himalayas and in some hill station and all that, because I used to do that earlier. You need to be in silence within you. And if within you don't have silence, wherever you go, whether to the beach or the mountain, you're carrying the chaos within everywhere. So it's not going to help, honestly. So every now and then I need to do this. So this time I was in silence for 21 days. I was told that this is what you need to do, this is how you need to share, this is what your work will change. So when I'm saying I was told, basically I meditated and I received, whatever I received. So what happens is, when you withdraw your attention from all the chaos outside of you and then divert it within, you start receiving, you allow your system to rejuvenate. You allow your system to really let go of all the unnecessary stuff and declutter. And you allow your system to realign with its original space. Original space of all of us is what? Space, where there is no noise. So all the noise that we have, if we shut them down for a while and go back and retrieve to ourselves, then we start getting the answers. Then we start coming up with, whatever is meant for you. So when this time I was in silence, I was told that this is how you will work, this is what will happen. And then I asked them, you can actually really negotiate with the universe. Like they were telling me, you need to stop all your personal sessions and only do workshops and talks. And I said, okay, really show me how will it be. I am not going to go and ask for people to come and attend my workshops. You show me how it will work. And then Srini comes. You can negotiate. So when I was in silence, I was told about the power of choice. See, all of us have very sometimes unpleasant difficult experiences. Of course, we created them, but now that is not really important. The point I want to draw as the last point is, we are beings of choice. They were telling me that you can change anything you do not like. And I was arguing with my guides and later with the source when I started channeling the source directly. I said, how? Explain to me how. I have to do past life regression, inner child, this, that. There's so many modalities which I work on myself also. And suddenly, first I was arguing with my guides, and there were 3 guys, and I was like, how? And then suddenly the source comes. So when the source starts getting channeled, it's a beautiful, blissful silence. Then you know, okay, you can't mess now. You know, now the actual guy is here. You better behave. You know, the MD of the company is here now, you can't. So I'm like, what is it? The source said, and this is really something you must practice. Says, you don't like something? I said, no. He says, how do you deal with the nightmare? So when I was a young child, my grandmother, my paternal grandmother said, whenever you have a bad dream, you just go open the, so it's a ritual basically, open the tap and the water cleanses everything. You wash everything with water. I'm like, yes. So you go and tell the water, wash my bad dream. And the water will wash it away. So as a 3-4-year-old, I was like, wow, I will the water. Because I had seen a dream of my brother dying. So I was crying and all. So the source said, how do you do it? And I had forgotten about this thing which my grandmother said, because you grow up, right? I said, I do this. He said, when you don't like something in your life and something bad has happened, any bad memory, bad decision, bad relationship, bad whatever, allow it to be washed away. Think it was a nightmare. Why is it you can, and then the source explained to me, which as a coach I understand intellectually, like, you know, that your subconscious mind doesn't differentiate between your imagination, your dream state and your physical reality. For the subconscious mind, everything is real. So if you can get rid of a bad dream by going and saying it and narrating it for water and believing it is cleared, and your subconscious mind will believe it, what is the problem narrating a bad experience in your life and asking the water to take it away? And I'm like, point to hai. Because logically and scientifically, that is how the subconscious mind works. So then the source said, you have a choice. If something is bad, allow it to be washed away. Don't carry it everywhere and tell everyone about it. You don't have to live with it. If you don't like something, you have the choice to change it. And you guys don't change it because you like to operate from victimhood. You like to believe something outside of you can affect you. Whereas it is you and your resistance to flow with life, because you so much love challenges, will not allow you to actually let things go. So now every time I have a bad experience, touch wood, I don't really have bad experiences, but let's say I have one. I believe it's a nightmare and I actually let it go. Because as a coach, I have studied the mind. And I understand the subconscious mind cannot differentiate between my imagination, between my physical reality that I'm experiencing, and if a knife has gone into my leg. You know, when we do a past life and someone has gone through a, let's say someone put a sword into someone, they actually feel the pain. No sword is going, but they feel it. And I don't know if it is real or not for them, but we actually feel it. So if that can happen, I'm just explaining logically, then anything can happen. So why is our need to hold on to the things that we do not like? Why is our need to hold on to the blame game in our team? Why is the need to hold on to all the ideas, all the things which makes us rigid? What is the need to want to protect the self-image and invest 80% of our energy to prove something which is not serving the whole organization or my relationships or my family? What is the need really? It's just the ego. It's just the need to prove me right instead of we together grow. So with this, I shall end the topic. These are the actual laws, and then based on this, we do family constellation for companies, like sinking companies and companies who are going through a lot of problems. We, using the same principles, we do family constellations to change a lot of stuff within the company. So basically, that is all I have to offer. I'm open if you have questions and if you want to know more, if that interests you.
Yeah, we will
Thank you for listening. Thank you.